Good evening. Welcome to the Selectmen's Meeting for April 23rd, 2019. Call the meeting to order with a roll call, please.
Wayne Miller present.
Don Klein present.
Sue Licio present. Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to announce that the meeting is being tape recorded. Is anyone here taping as well? No? Okay, thank you. Chairman's additions or deletions. We are adding 4.1.1, which is the Neshoba Valley Technical High School warrant article, and 4.1.2 Charter Committee request to extend the review. Any other additions or changes? We were going to switch something around.
Oh, yes. Could we switch 3.3 ahead of 3.1? You really need to do that one first before you can...
Empty the position before you can fill it?
Fill it, yep.
So 3.1 becomes 3.3, and 3.3 becomes 3.1, correct?
That's fine.
Okay. And under 1.5, welcome to our new board member.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Don Klein, welcome, congratulations, I think, are in order.
Or condolences, one or the other.
It's left to be seen, but welcome. And under that, 1.5.1, organization of the Board of Selectmen. Traditionally, the board reorganizes right after the election, so we need to select a chair, a vice chair, and a clerk. Okay? Who wants it?
I want a chair, that's for sure. I have no problem with you staying as chair, if you want it.
Was that a motion?
I'd be more than happy to let you stay at the chair.
Oh, goody. It's kind of like congratulations. Yeah, condolences. Do I hear a motion?
I move to keep Sue Licio as chair of the Board of Selectmen.
Second?
No other nominations? Dawn? No?
I nominate...
Oh, well, we can vote on that one. I was hoping that you were going to put your hand up and
No,
say...
no.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And vice chair, I nominate Wayne Miller.
I'll take it.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Clerk,
I nominate Don Klein to be clerk.
you accept?
I accept.
Oh, you accept. All right, so I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we have a board organized. 1.6, public comment, period. Public comment time. Lori?
I just want, and it's funny that you have on your agenda to extend the Charter Committee review, but I have, I found out this last month that, from Kathy Spofford, that the Town Properties Committee ends their positions as of the end of February, and that's per the charter. So and it also says that the first week of March, that the Board of Selectmen will reappoint or appoint the Town Properties
We
Committee.
did it last
week.
Last week.
Oh, the same committee? I didn't get that.
Yep.
I wasn't
People.
notified either.
The appointment letters haven't gone out yet.
Oh, they
It
haven't
was
gone
just
out
on
yet?
Thursday
We
night,
just
so-
we just voted it Thursday night.
Okay, so I'll give you this. This is from 2014 to now, and this is addressed to the keeper of the maintenance of the building. So I don't even know why that would get it, but
What was that? What is it you're giving us, Lori?
Everything that was in the town properties box.
It's
the mail.
just been sitting there, you mean?
Yes.
Oh,
And the envelope is not for town properties, so you might want
okay,
to...
so somebody delivered it to the wrong place. Okay, thank you. But no, we did reappoint everyone last Thursday night,
Great.
okay? So there are 4
Are we all
people.
going to be notified
Yes.
and
Yes.
who we are and how we can contact each other, kind of thing? Okay.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Then let's move on. Unfortunately, it's to an executive session. There are actually 2. And should we do these separately?
Actually, Madam Chair,
Could we
if I
move those
If I could beg
down?
the board's indulgence to perhaps take up the Neshoba folks, because it'll just be a very brief that you're including it in the warrant, and then they don't have to wait the half hour, 40 minutes during the executive.
Okay, but we don't have to go through and discuss, you're gonna just explain why?
Yeah, just a, 2-minute and 12-second.
Okay, any objection? Okay. So we'll move down to 411.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At earlier meetings, we talked about the fact that there's a project that Neshoba has planned for capital, and they've planned it wisely to coincide with the retirement of current debt that they have. So it won't, while it's being voted this year, it won't come online until next year. And this is the last year of the existing debt. So they've worked it that this debt gets retired, that's currently on the books, and new debt comes on next year. We had some discussion about whether we should be doing debt exclusion or inside borrow, determined that based on the fact that we want to keep the debt exclusion conversation as narrow and focused as possible to the road project, to not put it forth as a debt exclusion. The error, and it's mine, was in not recognizing that we still needed to put it on if we weren't going to do a debt exclusion. My belief was that if a majority of the communities voted, it was going to happen regardless. Just as a matter of form, the district will require that we at least have the vote on there. So I've amended the
For
version.
the borrowing.
Correct, to
Okay.
authorize the borrowing. So I've amended the warrant based on our earlier discussion, Madam Chair, and the warrant that, I don't know, Carolyn, if it's off the copier yet? Yeah, the warrant that's off the copier will now have, after the bridge borrowing article, we'll have the Neshoba article. So it'd be as simple as a vote of the board to move to include that warrant article in the warrant for publication.
Mr. Clerk, would you like to make the motion?
How do we word this? Just, this is new
That's
to
all
me.
right. That's all right.
I make a motion that we include the
The Neshoba capital borrowing article.
borrowing article in the warrant for the upcoming annual town meeting.
Beautiful.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Done.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Good night.
Thank you. Good to see
You're
you.
welcome.
So while they're walking out, I forgot to make the point of the charter. When they're reviewing it, do you know the reason why they have it ending the end of February? Because it would seem there would be 3 options. Either when you appoint, you do it from the election date to the election date, or the calendar year, January.
For Properties Committee? or-
Yeah.
It's actually a
'Cause
bylaw,
it's in
Madam
the
Chair.
Yeah, it's in the charter.
It's actually not, it's a bylaw that calls for it to be the February date. So that's as simple as a bylaw change at a town meeting, to make it coincidental with other appointments at
Yeah,
either the end
I
of
mean,
December or the end
It
of
makes sense
June.
just to have
Yeah.
all appointments the same,
That
whether
does,
it's, you know,
that does. I
July
don't know the
1st.
history of that bylaw, but if you can remember it, or
We can put
between all
we
of
can put a
us,
tickler in the file for the special town meeting in the fall. to
and we
make
can
that
just
change
amend the
there.
bylaw.
Okay, because it just makes sense to keep
Yeah.
all appointments like the same, whatever you're doing for finance or whatever you're doing for whatever that you appoint.
Yeah,
Okay?
makes sense. I know that was kind of like, huh?
I know. So that's why
I
I thought I would just bring that up.
Yes, no problem. Okay, 2.1, executive session. It's you. You need to read the
Oh, okay.
motion, please.
The executive session,
You're going to move to,
move to recess into executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation in an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the bargaining position or litigating position, and the chair to declare reference police union.
and I do declare.
The second one is the executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, 2, to conduct strategy session in preparation for negotiation with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with a non-union personnel, reference the town accountant.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in
And
favor?
we'll be coming back in open session.
And we will
We'll
be coming back
into-
into open session, yes. All those in favor?
Wait, no, yes.
Don Klein, yes?
Sulicio, yes. Hopefully, we're not going to be too long, guys. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, we're at, on the agenda, it said 3.1. We've changed 3.3 to 3.1. So could I get a motion, please?
Make a motion that we accept the resignation of the on-call Deputy Fire Chief, John Elliott, and appoint John Elliott as an on-call firefighter for the Fire EMS Department effective April 23rd, 2019 to June 30th, 2019.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Let's go to 3.2. Appoint Brian Meyer as the on-call captain to the Fire EMS Department effective April 23rd. Could I get a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Brian Mayer as the on-call fire captain to the Fire EMS Department effective April 23rd, 2019 to June 30th, 2019.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions?
Nope.
If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And 3.3, appoint William Elliott as on-call deputy fire chief.
I make a motion that we appoint William Elliott as the on-call deputy fire chief to the Fire EMS Department effective April 23rd, 2019 to June 30th, 2019.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4.1, we did. 4.1.2, discussion regarding charter...
Actually, Madam Chair, I'm sorry, 4.1 we do need to do. Review and sign the warrant.
Oh, okay.
For the
That is
annual
the whole
inspection.
warrant.
Correct.
I'm sorry. I was looking at 4.1.1.
Sure. So the only changes, Madam Chair, that have happened on the warrant since your last meeting are the votes of the Finance Committee and the Select Board, such as they are, have been added. The Charter Commission, Charter Committee's article has been removed. I did receive confirmation in writing from John Page today to remove it.
I saw that, and he kind of said both on his email. It was, he said, well, I guess that would be okay, but to simplify things, you can just take it off.
Yeah, he said to be expeditious or judicious with the town meetings time, just take it off.
Okay. Are there any ramifications to doing it that way? Because what I was picturing was it was going to come up and he was going to say that it should be passed over until the next special town meeting.
No, it's within the committee's authority to decide whether to pull it off or not.
But does it make a difference in terms, okay, so it still can go on?
Still bring it up, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. The other change is, as you earlier voted tonight, adding the Neshoba Valley Technical High School article for their borrowing
Yeah.
for their roof and windows and doors. There's been a minor modification on the operating budget, which you also took up earlier today, and that has been amended, and with the exception of those changes, everything is as it was. So you've already You've already adopted the warrant, accepted the warrant, but I guess an official vote to adopt the warrant, execute the warrant for posting by the constable this evening.
Do we have to sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready for that?
Get all that?
I think so.
Okay.
Jim, want to help?
Yeah. Motion to adopt and endorse the warrant for posting by the constable this evening.
I make a motion that we endorse and sign the warrant for posting by the constable this evening.
That's for special and annual town meeting.
Okay,
I should have
special
said that.
and...
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It is ready.
Do you have that? Where's that the sign?
I have, oh, you have the pages separately?
I gave you the original, what you printed out.
Well, it's missing the signature page.
At the end.
What's on the back?
It's on the back.
Is this the page of the book?
All the way back.
Oh, yeah, that's, oh, both of them are on the back. Oh, smarty. There you go. And you may note that the posting locations,
Can I just cross this?
It still says the former selectman on signature page.
Print you out a new
yeah,
one.
let's print
Yes,
a new one.
please.
Save it in the,
It's up on my screen, so let me go do it.
Just do that page. So you
I'm sorry?
Just do that page so you don't kill 5 trees.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just killed 5 trees.
We're gonna get rid of that.
We get rid of this one?
I do it like this. I put it in my,
I have chocolate breath.
Could be worse.
anyway, that's that one. And actually, 4.1.2 just got, well, I guess we could talk about it. We could talk about it. That's nice sometimes. Patiently waiting. Would just be another minute.
Where's that coming from?
Somebody's added music.
That's the dance studio.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Not use, she must have all her windows open because it's warm. Gumbo?
Do I forget?
No, take a moment.
Time to run out of ink. Okay. Let's have a short discussion on the Charter Committee, 412. Charter Committee, I think was feeling a little rushed. And my understanding from John is that what they're going to do is have maybe 3 or 4 more meetings, probably within the next month, and put the whole thing to bed. There were some open questions still with town council going back and forth, and put it to bed, and then hand it back to the selectmen with the report to put aside for the next, whenever,
Fall, yeah.
fall town meeting, probably. Okay, so,
Can anyone attend their meetings? Yes, they're not closed.
No, they're all
Okay.
I mean, it's like,
It shouldn't happen.
it's like 94, 95% there, but the questions that are still on the table are important to talk through, so. And from my perspective, it was more not wanting to rush town council to make sure that he understood what the intents were, because that was a little cloudy.
Is there a draft?
You could call John Page.
Okay.
Okay. So that's that one. 4.2, report approval of the charter review, which is not happening because of what we just talked about. 4.3, discuss results of the April 22nd, 2019 ballot questions for marijuana.
The yeses have it, which means no.
For all seven recreational types.
Correct. Which,
Basically have been prohibited.
yeah, the offshoot is prohibition passed for all aspects.
Okay.
So what will be before you will be each of the articles that appear in the warrant in order to get the companion vote.
And as discussed with Adam, this was a simple majority.
Yeah.
This passed.
Right.
The bylaws have to have a 2/3
Correct.
at town meeting.
As zoning bylaws, yeah.
Well,
Isn't there a new law? Part of the extension, if you will, of the
Municipal modernization.
Modernization Act was, they had at least been proposing to give the towns the ability to do more control by saying you don't need a 2/3 majority for
I know
zoning.
there's a standalone piece of legislation that the governor was proposing
That's
for
what I-
housing specifically.
No.
And that's the only one that I'm aware of that was general zoning.
Zoning bylaws, okay? Could you just look into that and find out where it is?
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa?
If it was voted down, then why does it go to town meeting?
We still have to have a bylaw.
We still need a bylaw for the
So it won't
zone.
be all 7 questions, it'll just be a
No,
bylaw.
it'll be 7.
Oh, 7, okay.
They have to be separate, that's the law says.
So it had to be voted on twice, basically, okay? But I know I
Yeah.
read something,
The only one I recall is that stabilization now is no longer 2/3. It can be a,
but there was something about the zoning as well, because they wanted to give a little bit more of that control back to the towns. But I don't know where that stands. It could just be a bill
right.
that was submitted
I
and
can check that.
not finalized.
Right after.
Chair,
Yes.
in our last Housing Authority meeting, Sheila Harrington was there. She did mention that, and I agree with you, that's what I heard as well, but I do not think that that has been passed as of yet.
Well, they're still working on on passing all the budget and amendments.
Correct.
As we speak. They're
Right.
probably still
But she did
there.
mention specifically that they are loosening the bylaws of the
Yeah, I knew
town
yeah.
from a 2/3 vote to a simple majority.
Yeah, so they're working on the amendments right now. They're going a little crazy right now because they're having to pour through all of them.
If I
And
may-
I believe they're supposed to be done this week.
And if I may, Madam Chair, through you to
Yeah.
Chaz, was your understanding that it was zoning specifically related to housing or zoning across the board?
Across the board.
Across the board.
So that's big.
It's
Yeah.
significant. It's
It's-
quite a bit more power back to the
Yeah,
communities.
the governor has, in his State of the Union address, had stated that they need to loosen the bylaws in towns much like ours because they need to increase the housing. Housing is down 50% and it's increasing as we move along. So this was their way of being able to expand the housing market. So it wasn't just for housing, but it was for anything.
I think that I remember the conversation, I can't remember where I had heard about it, if it was the MMA conference. It may have been, no, I read it somewhere. But anyway, I knew that was coming, I knew they were proposing that, but I did not know. Maybe it's this week that it goes through, so
I can find out
I'm
for
sure
you.
Adam will know.
Yep.
Okay, 4.3, discuss the results. That's it for that one. 4.4, selectmen liaison and responsibilities and assignment to board members. If the board would, I would like to have all of us look at the list. I mean, it's the discretion of the chair to assign them, but if there's anything in particular that
I'd like to keep the ones I have.
you want to just keep the ones you have, okay.
Well, I mean,
Makes sense.
it's a relationship,
It is.
so
It is.
I'd like to keep it the same.
Okay, so right now, Wayne has public safety
At the backside of the page.
and everything here is under that. We kind,
What he has.
So I have police, fire, inspection services, animal control, inspection of animals, TEMA, ITMIS, parking clerk, and burial agent.
What was the last one?
Burial agent.
So you gotta help.
I can dig a hole.
don't tell Roger, he'll be coming. And that leaves the general government and public works elected boards, commissions, officials. I've kind of been leaning toward the elected boards, commissions, officials. But
I have no problem taking anyone, whatever you would like, I'll take the rest.
and I don't see North Middlesex on here, so
Yes.
it
Yeah.
is where?
It's under general government now, be added.
Oh, well, I have a question on that. Neshoba Tech is at the bottom, because Neshoba Tech is an elected board, right?
School should be on the.
School should be there
It
too.
used to be until 3/26/19 when it was voted to be, popped up under general.
Oh, it wasn't popped up under general, it was popped up under me. Okay? So we'll take those and put those down,
All three of those?
well,
All three of the 3/26/19s, because they're all elected.
they're all elected. I don't know, help, guys.
I think for consistency, you keep it the same, because I know you did a lot of work with the school.
Okay. All right, you get the bottom.
I get the bottom.
Public Works, elected boards, commissions.
Oh, I get all that?
officials.
And
So you get the elected boards except for the ones that are up the top.
Okay, and you're taking the Neshoba Tech, or
I'm taking North Middlesex, library, planning.
Okay.
Okay? That was easy. It really was. Okay. Four, five, discussion regarding alternate member for the Housing Authority. Jim, what did you find out from Adam?
Did not get a response back yet.
Oh, my goodness, we didn't?
Yeah. Actually,
I'm sorry I didn't ask before.
yeah, actually, I'd intended when we were with him today to ask the question.
Oh,
We got kind of waylaid on the other stuff.
and you guys didn't hear back, Chaz?
Well, no, I haven't heard anything. I do. Bottom line is that we have, the one position that's in question is a tenant member position, but the Housing Authority does not hold any real property. So technically, that we don't have tenants to be able to draw from for members. We had a member that was filling that particular position, it's just that she happened to live on, in one of the Townsend Woods, Atwood Acres property. But our thought was to be able to have an additional member that's going to be able to help us. We do have a volunteer that's willing to help us. I've looked at what we have for state law, and you know, the makeup of the board really hinges upon One, the department shall provide regulations creating waiver of the section that does have the tenant, if federal law requires the town to maintain a tenant member. And that's the piece that I wanted to talk to council about. That's the only thing that really hinges upon, we can't fill that position because we don't own any property. We don't
Yeah,
have
and I'm
tenants.
sorry, I completely forgot that was on here, because I would have made sure that Adam gave us an answer. And the last email I saw, it sounded kind of complicated.
Yeah. The department, Chaz, and your understanding is Department of Housing and Community Development that can provide the waiver? In what you read? Yeah.
But we need to know how to do that, right?
I think Chaz has laid it out, that there is no housing under the auspices of the Housing Authority.
Correct.
Such that would create a tenant pool, so can the Townsend Housing Authority get a waiver for the tenant position and have it be an open community position, and then you have your volunteer that you'd currently like to see seated, and
Correct.
that person could fit in.
So who gives the waiver, us?
No, the department, the State Department of Housing and Community
And who
Development.
petitions them?
Housing Authority would be authorized because you're the ones that are the entity seeking the waiver.
Yes, but my question, though, hinges upon, this is for HUD, I think it goes right to HUD, this is federal. It says the department shall provide regulations creating waiver of this section if federal law requires. So I think it has to go to HUD as opposed to DHCD.
I mean, I can commit to, you voted the warrant and the budget and the packet, that's off my desk right now. I can commit to tomorrow. I don't know if you have time, Chaz, to get on a call with Adam. We can get on a conference call and find out what the
That'd be great.
mechanism is and get it done tomorrow.
Okay,
So you two can figure out a time?
sure.
All right?
If you want to pop in, I don't know if you're local or not, but I mean, you can pop in too, we can do it.
Just, yeah, let me know and I'll see. It's either going to be a call or pop in. I'm in Nashua tomorrow.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay. Thank you. 4.6, discussion regarding expenditure reports. I asked for this to be on the agenda more to bring awareness to it, because we're 3/4 of the way through. This report is 3/4 of the way through anyway. And just to kind of ask the town administrator to please start taking a look at it, and for us to take a look at it, and if people have questions.
Yep, as a matter of course, the town accountant is reviewing on the monthly basis with the expenditure reports to see where we are against actuals and what the trend is. Each department gets their respective piece, so they're not seeing the whole thing, it's just a piece that they're concerned with. And it's somewhat misleading, not unlike the budget conversation we had earlier about looking at the percentage column. Because you may find, a great example is the education line in the police budget under salaries. You would see on July 15th, 2 weeks into the fiscal year, that they'd be 50% expended, because it gets paid in two payments, the first payroll in July and the first payroll in January. So some of what you see, if it's not an expense that is truly 12 equal payments, the trend is interesting, but it's not necessarily going to be terribly reflective of what's actually occurring. The other side of it is you'll have departments like facilities that, not knowing what the winter is going to bring, if we're going to get a leak in the roof, or if we're going to have like the heating situation we had in the foyer in the senior center, he won't expend funds on certain projects that are in the queue to do until he knows we've passed certain places where we usually have some exposure. So it may look like he's, instead of 75% spent, only 50%, and that's also not terribly accurate, even though it's accurate in terms of the dollars, it's not accurate in terms of the work plan.
And I don't have, I think those kinds of things are explainable. I think the things that stick out to me are on the very last page of this whole packet. And I know Lori looks at them.
Yep.
I think when I asked, it was prior to knowing Lori was coming back, too. But there are amounts of money that were articles on the town meetings, and it looks like some of them haven't been spent at all.
Yeah, the other issue, and I did reference this with Lori when you asked that this report be generated, is when I asked Lori to generate a year-to-date expenditure report, I have her do it without the special articles because they're not operational budget items. I can have a separate report generated that shows me the articles, but if I'm truly looking at year-to-date expenses for the operating budget, that just really skews things.
Oh, no, I'm not looking at the bottom line. I wasn't looking at the bottom line at all. I looked at those simply because I'm saying we voted in a town meeting to, to raise a certain amount of money or to put a certain amount of money away, and we're months past that and we haven't spent any.
I got you.
So it's like, we shouldn't be encumbering money, whether it's free cash or whatever it was, that put the money in there, and just have it sit there.
Not doing anything with it.
That's,
Yep.
so I'm just bringing it up.
I got you.
It's just another piece of the big puzzle. And then in terms of other things in budgets, that does relate to the budget, if I'm seeing that, there's this money in there that's any kind of significant money, and we've only spent a small amount of it, I'm gonna look at that in relationship to what are they asking for this year, too.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So it's just part of the bigger puzzle, and that's the only reason I wanted to bring it up. Lori does send these out and post them once a month, so,
Yeah, I mean,
oh, yeah?
And you're-
Yeah, you should be, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, on page 25 of 32, you do have like a good example of what you're saying, so is the sidewalks. There's $25,000 that was appropriated a year and a half ago. Now, we know that they went out to bid, it came in well over that amount, so there is that piece that's been being worked on.
And it's
Gotta-
explainable, and
Right.
that's fine, but I think everything should be looked at, and especially in relationship to what they're asking for this year.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay? So it was just, let's not forget about how one year rolls into another, too. 4.7, review, comment, mandatory referral for the zoning board regarding a variance. Dawn, we usually just kind of look through these and very rarely have anything to say on them. So do we even do a vote?
Yeah, Wayne got pretty good at just saying, I make a motion that we thank them for the referral and hugs and kisses, Board of Selectmen.
Well, we
He said
didn't
it.
quite say all that, but, thank you, but no comment, right? Okay, so you can do motions on those two, 4.7 and 4.8.
I'm assuming, is there an order? Yep. I make a motion that we thank the zoning board of appeals for the referral, but we take no
No comment.
on it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and that's on the variance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And 4.8,
I make a motion that we thank the zoning board of appeal on their request for,
on the referral.
on the referral of the special permit, and we take
No
vote.
comments.
No comment.
Second.
I'll get it right sometime.
It's okay.
First
Takes a
day.
while. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4.9, review approve a road opening permit for Unitil regarding gas service on Spalding Street, and this is just an approval vote.
I make a motion that we approve the road opening permit for Unitil, reference the gas service on Spalding Street.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4.10, same thing.
I make a motion that we approve the road opening permit for the Unitil, reference the gas main repair on Hickory Drive.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5.1, town administrator updates and reports. Do you have anything?
The budget book getting
Yes.
finalized is the beginning and the ending of that show. Thank you.
We're done?
We're done. We'll be out to print tomorrow.
Nice. Excellent. And do you have any plans for that budget book besides?
Yep. Thank you for the slow pitch over the center of the plate. Over the last couple of years, we've been slowly ramping up to the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association's designation for, it's a gold medal standard for budget presentation. So I think with this most recent version, we've ticked off nearly all the boxes and then some. So I think once town meeting is done, we'll probably package a nice copy of it up and send it off to the GFOA and see what their consideration is.
So, for a possible award?
It'd be an award, but I think of more importance is next time we go out to bond, it's one of the things that the bond rating agencies like to see. And if it's, something we've not had in the past and we have now, it's an indicator in terms of management practices and finance that is looked at very favorably. And we're likely not going to see a bump in our bond rating just based on our geography. When you read the report and you see how they write things, we're as stable is going to get in terms of our books, but in terms of the economic development potential, being on the New Hampshire border without a state highway coming through, we're recognized as pretty limited beyond that. So any little way you can find an edge, it's good to pursue it.
Jerry, you're on the FinCom. Can I just ask you what your perception was of the budget process so far this year?
Well, it started off really pretty good, and then it seemed to get, I think it seemed to get a little, it got difficult because there was so many, there was a lot of changes that came in, and it was hard because we weren't privileged to knowing what, what people's wages were because of the negotiations or things like that. So, in that perspective, it was a little on the difficult side. And there was it seemed like there was an awful lot of paper.
Yeah.
Just...
It's 152 pages.
Yeah, and it just seemed like we went from budget 20 to budget 34.
All the different versions.
All the different versions.
Yeah.
It was like, I found it difficult to follow.
You're a hard copy person, too.
I am.
Yeah, that makes it hard.
And the thing is, I make notes on the first version, and then, 15 versions later, I'm trying to get my notes and my papers together for what I've written on it.
Yeah, that's...
What I'd kind of like to do after town meeting is just get together, your board and ours, and just say what worked, what didn't, how can we improve on it next year, okay?
Yeah, it's one of the kind of ticklish things about trying to have everybody be included from the first version of something, recognizing that 3 months' time, there are going to be several iterations. We're at 34 versions. So each successive version,
It changes a little bit.
in the past, you wouldn't likely have seen that level of detail until it was nearly cooked.
Right.
So that's kind of the flip side of the coin is you get in earlier, but with that comes exposure to all of the different versions as they're getting generated.
But what I liked about it was that, when we got together, we were all, once we talked about, okay, where are we at, it was familiar by then.
It was very familiar. More familiar than I really wanted.
Lisa?
Just quick, all the definitions and guides to town meeting and then all the demographics, is that necessary? That seems like a lot of extra cost. I know some of it is, but does it all have to be? It's like as much extra as there is on the warrant itself.
I think the intention for that is to make it a complete package about the town.
When you go in, you're listening, you're not going to be reading through all of that. Maybe like a guide online for me. That's just my opinion. I don't think many people look through all of that at the time of the meeting.
Yeah, I think the intention is to give people everything because one person might be interested in one part that another one isn't.
I was just thinking saving money, put it
Yeah.
online, everybody has a phone, but
No. I don't use my phone for looking at spreadsheets, you know, and what percentage of our population is over 60? So we have to think of that too. But, you know, technology is out there, and maybe we can think of better ways to do it next time around. Maybe we'll buy the finance committee iPads or
I have an
notebooks.
iPad. I don't like looking at my iPad. I like to physically touch the
No,
button.
Tactile.
I like
Okay.
but you know all the other stuff.
Sorry I asked. Okay, so that's it for you, Jim?
Yes, thank you.
Board of Selectmen announcement, updates and reports. Typically, the clerk would read this section.
Okay. April 24th, 2019, there will be the review of the FY20 budget and warrant articles with the town moderator, town council, town administrator, Board of Selectmen, and the Finance Committee. And I believe it's
Here.
here in this room?
Correct.
Then that's tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Correct. And then on April 27th, 2019 is the Earth Day celebration on the Common, and I believe that is from 10 to 3.
That's Saturday, right?
Yes.
And then April 29th, 2019, the Planning Board public hearing will be held in the Great Hall, and I'm not quite sure what that one's for.
Which planning board, that
It's
is
for the
on the
bylaws.
marijuana bylaws.
And the accessory
And the accessory
apartment,
apartment.
And the accessory apartments, there's two.
to prepare for the annual meeting.
And there was going to be one on the charter, but that's
That one's off.
That's off.
off,
That
yeah.
one's off.
Okay. And then May 7th, 2019 will be the annual and special town meeting in the Great Hall.
Okay. Mark your calendars, folks. Lots going on.
I do have one as well.
Oh, and Wayne's got one. I know what it is.
So the high school is putting on a musical starting tomorrow. Is the free performance. They're doing The Sound of Music.
I want to go.
So Thursday, Friday, and twice on Saturday are the shows. So
There's a matinee on Saturday.
yes, please attend.
I'm going to try. Did you get both? No, there you go. We got through all of those. 5-3, any more announcements? No. 5-4?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
if I could
ma'am.
possibly.
Okay, another one.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the public that came out to vote yesterday. I do appreciate it. It was not the greatest day towards the end of the day. I know my wife and I kind of stood out there with a few other people in the pouring rain, but I do appreciate all the people that came out and voted for me, even though I was kind of running unopposed. And I hope that I bring some needed stability and hopefully progression as we move forward in the next 3 years.
We looking forward to that. 5-3, any more? No. 5-4, board correspondence.
I have none.
Jim, just, would you make sure that the document that we went through this morning gets distributed to
Yes.
the whole board? Thank you.
Yes, I've done nothing with it since
Okay.
this morning for that purpose.
5-5, review and sign payable and bills payable warrants.
Madam Secretary, I make a motion that we review and sign payroll and bills payable warrant out of session.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have one other thing, I'd like you to be thinking about meeting schedule going forward. Carolyn, when's our next meeting scheduled for?
Held it open on the 30th, but it wasn't confirmed. There's really anything in there.
And we don't really have anything pressing, right?
Just the meeting before the town meeting.
Yeah, the night of.
Yeah.
And you have an appointment for Michelle with John and handing out the motions. It's on the schedule when John Barrett actually
Yes.
wants to schedule.
Yeah.
um,
Okay, so there's nothing other than town meeting coming and all of the stuff we just talked about. I'd like you to be thinking about goals and updates of the current goals, as well as what we might roll over, need to roll over, and what our priorities going forward will be, okay? And list of items for discussion. Think about the possibility of one meeting a month, it doesn't have to be on a Tuesday, to be used as a work session so that we can start looking at things like policies on a regular basis.
Yep.
Okay, real work session defined 1 or 2 items, period. Okay, so just be thinking about that and
Okay.
let Jim know if you come up with ideas or bring, give him a list of what you think. Okay? And we'll include it on the agenda after town meeting, along with all the things that we've been putting off. Right? Okay, that's it. Move to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:40?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.